Mm-hmm. 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 Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything?
Hi, I'm TT.
I'm 3D.
And I'm probably right.
Welcome to the Hoop Scoop. 3D, what are we talking about tonight?
Tonight we're going to be talking about Angel Reese and LSU. They're currently on a 4-game win streak, and they recently just took down Georgia in a really convincing win of almost 30 points. They were led in scoring by Haley Van Lith, who's really started to come into her own this season. And later in the season, as opposed to before, she's a new transfer that came into LSU to try to win a championship, and they're looking good.
So go ahead.
They won this. They were up in the fourth quarter, right here by 26 points, and they're led by Angel Reese, who's currently averaging 19 points and 13 rebounds. That's the second in all of women's college basketball in rebounds, and she's just continued to dominate.
I did read that LSU is now the second seed in the March Madness rankings.
I can see them winning it all.
Yeah, I think that there are a couple of teams that have dropped a few games, like Iowa being one of them. A couple of weeks ago they'd only dropped one game. Now they've dropped 3 additional games. So yeah, there's a couple of them that's all sitting at the same way. They've all dropped 4 games. I think LSU is one of those teams, but the only unbeaten team is still South Carolina. So they're poised to make some noise. This is a good time to start winning.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in addition to the winning streak they've been on, they've also been people are also talking about how they are selling out stadiums while on the road going to other colleges to play.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, they're winning and everybody likes to watch it.
Now, I was going to say, I think the tickets, I read that the tickets between LSU and South Carolina were over $1,000.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm going to have to start buying these tickets early.
Right.
Because the profit margin got to be good on them.
Right. We don't know what LSU is going to bring next year. They're going to lose a couple of players, right?
Oh, no, but still. Because I'm sure that's the reseller market. I'm sure the schools are not selling them for $1,000. Right. That's got to be the reseller market.
Right.
Yeah, they probably sell out fast. What I was getting at is Caitlin Clark. She's also been selling out a lot of stadiums, and it's been announced that her next game will be the highest selling game, the most expensive game in women's college basketball history.
Who are they playing?
They are playing, I'm not even sure who they're playing. I can look that up for you. But the reason it will be so expensive is because Caitlin Clark is currently 17 points away from breaking the NCAA record in scoring. Now, she's already broken it for women's college basketball, but she's 17 points away from Pistol Pete Maravich.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a big deal.
And will this be their last game before March Madness?
I don't believe so. And they're playing Ohio State, who's actually ranked higher than them right now.
Oh.
You gotta wonder, like, how many shots is she putting up a game? Like, is she putting up 30 shots a game?
She's only putting up 19 shots per game. And I actually recently
That can't be.
today,
That cannot be. She's
19
probably
shots
putting
a
up
game.
19 3-pointers alone.
She not only is she only shooting 19 shots a game, she shoots less shots than Pistol Pete Maravich. Pistol Pete Maravich played for his dad, and so although a lot of people are not liking the comparison because Pistol Pete did it in 3 years, where she'll be doing it in 4 years. Actually, yeah, because technically she'll have done it in 4 years, not a full 4 years, but he shot way more shots. He actually did shoot around 30 shots a game, and he averaged 40 points a game in one season. It will be taking her more games to do it, but she's shooting more efficiently than Pistol Pete Maravich was by a pretty fair margin.
Okay. Well, congratulations to her.
Yeah, she's definitely impressive. She's declared for the WNBA draft. A lot of people were wondering if she'd come back to the NCAA because they think that she'll make more money in the NCAA. But I think that is due to a lot of people's misunderstanding of NIL and how that works. So, for anybody who doesn't understand, women's college basketball teams do not pay their players to play basketball. There's still no form of payment that they receive as if it is a job, even though they do make a lot of money for the schools. NIL is allowing players to make money off their brand and likeness, which they were not before allowed to do. So when she moves on to the WNBA, most of, if not more, brands will follow her to the WNBA, and then she'll also begin to make a salary from her basketball team that she's playing. So most likely she'll be bringing in more money, not less money.
Well, hopefully she'll be bringing in enough where she won't have to play overseas like most of the WNBA players.
Me personally, I would like to play overseas. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's cool that they can play in different countries. They play in America. They play in. Maybe I wouldn't want to play in Russia. I get that a lot of them play in Russia because it pays more. I probably wouldn't want to go to Russia. I hear it's cold. But to
Yeah,
be able
and
to go
that's
to
what
like
one of the
Italy and
better.
France and Spain.
That's where one of the better league is, though. But think about it: you're playing basketball for whatever season, and then you're looking to rest your body because it's an intensive sport. But then you have to go and continue to play, pretty much another year. So you're playing 2 years of basketball in 1 year, and it's nice to be overseas. But I just want to be overseas, relaxing and enjoying the culture overseas, and not just playing basketball. So I don't know.
I get it.
Some of these places that they're playing overseas, there's war going on and a lot of different things. I mean, Brittany Griner got caught up with, I think, 3D, you were saying this is her 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, she just recently went to Baylor to celebrate her 1 year anniversary out of Russian prison.
Right. And she didn't even finish the season because I think she still had a lot of, mental stuff and just getting back and getting through that. So, yeah, there's a whole lot that comes with that.
I agree. I don't know. To an extent, I agree with that. At the same time, I don't think they have to go play in Russia. Like, I understand they want to go overseas and make more money, but there's other countries, like there's nice countries you can go to and play basketball, and maybe they don't pay the most, but I think it's pretty cool to get to play basketball for a job. Like most people do it for free. So I think that it's cool to be able to go around the country, play basketball for money. I understand that it's easy to look at somebody else's life and say, oh, well, this person's doing it for $1 million, or this person doesn't have to play as much as I do. But it's like, I mean, if you just look at the average Schmo Joe, then they're also playing basketball all the time, maybe more games than you are. And it's like, well, they don't get paid anything, or they may even get paid less. Players in the G League or some players in other countries like Lithuania, they're not making as much money as WNBA players. And it's not necessarily, they're not as good. I understand. I'm not knocking the talent.
We're gonna give you a little time out there. We're gonna give you a little time out because I think you're comparing them to NBA players, right? WNBA players get paid more money overseas than they get paid here.
I'm not comparing them to NBA players. I'm comparing them to basketball players in general.
And
Basketball
yeah,
players
you
all
can't.
over the world. A lot of them don't
You
have as
can't.
many opportunities as WNBA players.
You can't compare them to NBA players, period. But they get paid more money overseas than they get paid in the WNBA.
And I
Which is
think
why they go to play. And it's all good
Exactly.
until, like, when they're in the WNBA, they leave their families. They're on the road all the time. And then when they overseas, they definitely don't see their family. So there's a lot to come with that. It is indeed a privilege, but like I said, it can be a wear on you. You're playing it's like you're working two jobs.
And I think for me, if they made as much, maybe not as much as the NBA players, but if they made a significant amount of money, I don't think a lot of these women would choose to
No,
go overseas, right?
because a lot of them
They're
have
doing
families
that.
too.
Exactly. So yeah, it's because they're not getting paid enough. That's to me, I think that's the only reason they're opting to go overseas, not because they see any glamour in playing in another country.
But why are they not getting paid enough? Is it because somebody else is making more? Because just based on how much they make, like maybe they don't make the most money in the world, but at the same time, it's like I said, they're playing basketball. They work all year, and it's like, yeah, like I said, maybe they work less than the next person, but they also work more than the next person. So I don't know. I see where you're coming from, but I just think that like you were saying, it is kind of a privilege. So I think it's kind of hard to be like to everybody be like, oh, it's such a thing to complain about. People are dream about going to the WNBA.
I don't see it as a privilege to leave my country and go to work in another country. Um, if I had I'm not in the WNBA, but if I felt like I couldn't make enough money to sustain my lifestyle just working here in America and I had to go to another country, I wouldn't look at it as a privilege.
So
For me, when I
let's
go to another country, I want to go to visit that country, to vacation in that country, not to go there to work. But go ahead, Prolly, right?
Yeah, so let's put it in a little bit of, let's put some perspective around this, right? Or some context around this. The average WNBA player salary is right around 100,000, 110, give or take. The average NBA player salary is 9.7 or so million. So you see, $100,000 for the travel and the wear and tear. Yeah, I mean that's not even like middle class.
$100,000 a year is a lot of money to most people.
I'm sure it is, but for what they're doing, they should be paying more. And I understand it's a lot about I'm trying to show you the difference. I'm trying to show you here why they have to go overseas.
Right.
I
And
understand.
to kind of go with what you were saying, while $100,000 is a lot of money for a lot of people that have gone to college, right, got that 4-year degree, that's kind of the average pay, and they get to stay with their families. They get to work here, see their families every day, not have to travel, not have to put their bodies through the and if they get hurt, then it's a whole, what I'm saying, it's like a whole different ball game at that point if they have an injury to their body where they can't work. So
I understand. Well, moving on to the next topic, we have Cody Williams. He is currently looking like he is going to be playing some professional basketball as well. He is rising up in the draft stock, and some people have him going number 1. Cody Williams currently plays for Colorado. He's a 6'8" small forward, and he can shoot the ball, he can finish, he can rebound, he can defend. He brings a lot to the game. Do you think that he can make it in the next level, or do you think he's going to be another bust?
Wow.
I mean, we see a lot of that. A lot of college basketball doesn't translate to the next level.
I mean, let's just say he has all the intangibles that he needs to make it to the next level. Like he's not only skilled, he's also, a very good size to make it in the NBA. So I don't see any reason why he shouldn't, especially if they projected him number 1. But yeah, we'll see, right? We don't know, but yeah, I don't think so.
I agree. I like you said, he has all the tangibles. He can shoot. He has the size, rebounding, all the things that he needs for his game to translate. So yeah, I think he'll be fine. I don't think he's going to be a bust, but only time will tell, really. As long as he doesn't come to Atlanta, because it seems like when players come to Atlanta, something happens. I'm not sure if it's Magic City or what happens, but something when they come to Atlanta, just
We're not going to do Atlanta like that.
I've seen too many good players come to Atlanta, and I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw a report. I can't remember who did the report the other day, and it was saying something like about 45% of players that get drafted into the NBA don't make it. They're out of the NBA or don't even finish their first contract, which I think is like 4 years. They're out in the NBA in about 2 to 3 years. Like teams already give up on them, and I think a lot of teams give up on them early because, they have to make significant strides. And sometimes those strides is like, replacing or upending players that are there doing their things. Right. So, and a lot of players are staying in the NBA, longer than players before, where the average player in the NBA back then, their career was 6 years. Now these dudes in here like LeBron and them 20 years. They working a whole civilian job in the NBA.
Yeah.
I think a part of it is a chain effect too, because as the players don't have a lot of job security, it's kind of like that throughout the entire NBA. The coaching staff doesn't have a lot of job security. The front office doesn't have a lot of job security. So these people in the front office and these coaches are understanding like, hey, I don't really, even though it's probably better to develop talent from a basketball perspective, they have to have a mentality of, I don't really have time to develop this talent. I have to be able to put the best product on the floor because they're willing to fire me in the middle of this season if the job's not going well.
That's true.
I think that's some of the issues that the NBA is having right now. It's funny. The commissioner was on talking about player development and how they need to focus a little bit more on player development and maybe adopting some of the styles of the European players. I'm not sure if I agree with that. I mean, I would agree with that if we had like a ton of European players killing it in the NBA. I mean, outside of Jokic and Luka and who else is there?
Giannis is from Europe.
Wemby and Giannis. That's 4 players. That's four players. So I don't understand why you're gonna go adopt their style. It ain't like they just done took over. That's 4 players. You're looking at 4 top players as opposed to what happened to all of the Frank Ntilikina's and them. They out of the NBA. So yeah, so I don't know. And if you compare that to the people that are in the NBA now, I'm not sure if that's the way to go, but I do think that they need to focus on player development a little bit more, especially for the younger guys. Like when they come in there, like, it's maybe the player association can kind of negotiate that in their deal. Like, yeah, we have to get them some development and a proven development, just not saying you're developing them, but yeah.
So
I agree with that.
Like go to G League and develop there? Or?
They're doing a lot of that already, though. I don't like it.
No, see
I was gonna say, it seems like the G League is where they're
and yeah, I don't think that helps because the G League it's not even about development then, right? It's about survival. It's about let me take as much shot as I can so I can get back there or so that they can see me. So it's not development at all.
Right.
Yeah, if you watch a G League game, it is kind of a lot of selfish basketball. They're really not.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
The players aren't playing to win. The players are playing to get back in the WNBA. I mean, get back in the NBA.
Yeah, they're not learning any fundamentals. They're not, you know what I mean? Like some of these players, they do 1 year in college, right? So they're definitely not getting developed there. And then when they're in high school, they're probably going to switch from whatever schools once they get noticed to another school, and just try to, then those schools are just trying to win too. So they just getting them in and getting them out, so Yeah, so they're not really getting it. They're not really getting that player development. Everybody's just interested in the win, not so much the product, except for women's basketball.
Yeah, well, like we were saying earlier, it's like kind of controversial because some people feel like in the women's college basketball game, they should start letting them leave to go to the WNBA earlier because in women's you have to stay at least 3 years versus you can do the one and done with men's. But at the same time, those women are coming out more developed. Now, granted, it's not necessarily a perfect system either. There's one player who ended up drafted first to the WNBA. Her name is Charlie Collier. And even as the first pick in the entire WNBA draft, she was out of the WNBA in 2 years, at least out of the rotation. And so it's not necessarily a perfect system. I don't necessarily know what could be the 100% solution, but there's definitely more player development on that side.
Not even say 100%, right? But you don't want 45% of them you just throw away. But then again, there's only 32 teams, and you have players coming out every year, so I guess they can really afford to throw them away. Sorry to put it that way, but
No, you're right. Speaking of that, with the WNBA, I actually think the problem is not necessarily its player development, but the lack of teams. Like you said, the NBA currently has about 32 teams. The WNBA only has 16 teams, so that's about half as many roster spots. So despite that, they have the same type of draft as the NBA draft. So you're bringing in the same amount of players each year with half as many roster spots. So it's like you have so much talent coming into the women's game, but then these players that everybody's so excited to see in the WNBA can't find a roster spot. I remember Tia Cooper was Sharif Cooper's sister. She was one of the most popular college basketball players, and then she couldn't really keep in the lineup in the WNBA. Now she's out of the league, and it's like she's super talented. I mean, anybody who's watched her play can tell the girl can play ball, but there's just not enough roster spots.
Yeah, and I think that's something that maybe the WNBA can do, because what they really do need in the WNBA is eyes on the sport, right? And so if you have players with a big following and people that want to see them play, like, you have to give them minutes. Like, I don't know where you're going to take it from, but you have to give them minutes. You got to sacrifice something to get eyes to grow the sport, and maybe other cities would want a team, and other billionaires would want to sponsor a team or buy a team or create a team or whatever. But yeah, you definitely need more eyes on it. But I do see it going in that direction. Like, I don't see them bringing in Caitlin or Angela and then just sitting them on the bench, right? You're doing yourself a disservice. And if that's happening, then they're never going to grow the sport, because you need eyes, you need excitement, because at the end of the day, sports is entertainment. And if we're not entertained, we're not going to watch.
I agree. I think the solution for that kind of would be more teams, because the thing about it is in the NBA, they don't really have that problem because they're okay with having sorry teams. Like, just to call it what it is, the Pistons have 9 wins right now. The Washington Wizards have 9 wins right now. But they still bring eyes in because you got guys like Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, who are pretty much just Instagram famous.
We watching them?
I mean, people are honestly, like, people are keeping up. The media talks about the Wizards, even if they suck. I don't necessarily watch the Pistons games, but it's something to talk about. It still brings eyes to the NBA. Just like people talk about those great teams like the Warriors and the Miami Heat and the Celtics. People are talking about how bad the Pistons are. People are talking about Cade Cunningham. Like, Cade Cunningham was the first pick in his draft. And even though Cade Cunningham maybe is struggling with turnovers and things of that nature, you got guys like Killian Hayes. Killian Hayes, from an NBA standard, is a terrible basketball player. But a lot of people know who that is, and he's on the court. It's like you're saying about WNBA players who are coming in early and they're not really getting that development, so they end up out of the league. It's like in the NBA, they just end up on a bad team, but it's okay because it's like, I mean, sure, maybe not that many people are watching, but that team has fans. That team has a core fan base. Specifically with the Spurs, I think the best highlight of that is the Spurs, who are also one of the worst teams in the NBA this year, but people are definitely watching the Spurs.
Did you watch the game last night?
The Spurs game?
The Spurs and the Thunder game.
No, I did not watch
Oh,
the
it
game
was a
last night.
game. It was
It was
Chet.
good.
It was Chet against Wemby. It was. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the Spurs beat the number. What is the Thunder? The Thunder's is the second
Number
seed
2. Yeah, it's
in the
number 2 seed right now.
West. And man, they put on a show. Like Chet did his thing, but yeah, Wemby is the clear favorite. Wemby, he's gonna be the number
He is
one
a
player
problem.
in the league like very soon. Whoever getting them MVPs, they better go and get them right now because them boys coming. Defensive player of the year, number one in scoring, number one in blocks. He coming. So
He's
whoever gonna
currently
get those
already
first,
number 1 in
go
blocks.
get it now. Joel Embiid, go. You better come on back and get your MVPs, man. Giannis, get yours because Wemby coming. If he put on a little body on him, oh, it's gonna be done. It's gonna be over. And he got that foot movement, man. He got footwork. You know, where a lot of like
a
big
nice
dudes don't
crossover.
have it. Yeah. Go if you get a chance, go back and watch that game. Like that was a game.
I'll check it out. I like watching him play. His dunk against the Celtics was the most viewed dunk this season on social media. And it was just a fast break dunk. But it's like people just love to watch him play. He's currently leading the league in blocks. He's averaging over 20 points, over 10 rebounds, and he's playing less than 30 minutes a game because they're trying to put him on somewhat of a minutes restriction because they want to keep him healthy.
I think they're
He's
over that
definitely
now. He played what 34 or 37 minutes last night, but you should have seen the
34
block
minutes
he
last
had
night.
on Chet. But yeah, watch it.
I got you.
In 2024, and it's my new favorite shoe to hoop in.
So I wanted to talk about some of these players are putting out some pretty cool shoes. Tita, you were telling me earlier that you're not a big fan of these. These are the AE1s. Anthony Edwards recently put out a commercial about these shoes, and he said that none of the other shoes that basketball players are wearing right now can compare to his. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I stand by my statement. I'm not a fan of those shoes. Yeah, they don't do it for me. So
Yeah.
They're not the worst shoes I've seen, but I mean, like, I'm not voting them number one. Right now, I'm putting the Stewie over those. So you know,
the
yeah, I like
Stewies look
the
like
Stewies.
nursing shoes. I am not a
hey,
fan of
hey,
those.
hey, 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 hey.
You know I gotta
Stewie.
Listen. I'm with the Stewies.
pull up the Stewies.
Yeah,
I like the
total.
Stewies.
What are you talking
Those
about?
look
That
like.
is fresh. That is, man. Come on.
I mean,
I like
don't
the
get me
Stewies.
wrong. It looks like a comfortable shoe, but it's not a stylish shoe. It looks
They look
very
like
comfortable.
basketball shoes. Those AE
They
ones,
don't.
I don't think they look. I don't think they look great or bad, but they don't look like basketball shoes. They look like your big toe is gonna put a hole in them if you try to play basketball.
Why are all these basketball shoes like low top shoes? Like what happened to the ankles? Like we ain't protecting our ankles no more.
No, them oxtails look good, but
I'm saying
no.
where they at? What we doing?
You getting them a bite to eat while I show you these Stewie twos.
I do like the watercolor wave that she has, but this
The
is
blue
fire
one.
too. I would definitely wear these.
Well, one,
Yeah, I
I'm not
like
a
them.
fan of Puma shoes, and two, yeah, those look like orthopedic shoes to me. So
Those are the shoes Michael Porter Jr. was wearing that they asked him about when he mentioned that he thinks that women basketball players should be compared to ping pong players, whatever he said.
yeah,
Yeah,
that nonsense.
but
Yeah.
it's nonsense. Now, another pair of Puma shoes that I currently like are these Mellow Ones. They got the Mellow Twos. Now, Anthony Edwards featured these Mellow Twos in his commercial when he was saying that his shoes are better than everybody else's. And LaMelo Ball, who's kind of had a rivalry with him since they were both drafted into the NBA at
Mm-hmm.
1 and 3 in the same draft. And he said the reason that Anthony Edwards didn't put his Mellow Ones in the videos because he knows nobody's messing with his ones. And I'm not gonna lie, I like these. I like these a lot. I don't
I
think
like
that
them a
the
lot.
AE ones. I don't think the AE ones got nothing on this.
Yeah, they have a lot of understated details that I mean, it's like look at those shoes. Yeah, I'm sorry, Anthony Edward. This Mello got you here.
I'm pretty sure these came out when he was in high school too. That was the shoe LeVar put out that, well,
Oh, this
I think
this
they
one
made
them
some
big
changes
baller,
to it.
this one them big baller shoes, or is this the Puma shoes?
I think they made some changes to it. So I think the design is a lot similar to the big ball shoes. I think when he signed to Puma, they just made some changes to it. But they were originally called the NB1s still when he was with the big baller.
Yeah,
And
no,
I think they
those
just
are
added
some
the
fly shoes.
Puma
Those are
sign.
some fly shoes. Like I mean the details on them. Just look at them.
Yeah, this is nice.
Sorry, Aunt. Mello got you this time.
Yep. Speaking of Melo has been on quite a press run. So let's check out what he had to say about Nikola Jokic wearing his number.
No way. When you see my man go out there, I play basket number 15. I am number 15.
Yeah, hell yeah. Because
What the fuck? Did you think it was a petty maneuver?
yeah, it was a petty maneuver. It wasn't like, oh, we got numbers to choose from. It was like, here,
Take this one.
you got 15. 15. So now just start thinking, oh, this is because this is the narrative that they put out there. He wanted to leave. He wanted to do this. He wasn't. Nah, but why would you disrespect by even offering that? Like the disrespect and you offering that showed me that you just wanted to erase everything that came prior to
That's crazy.
that right there.
So a lot of people argue that Melo has nothing to complain about because Nikola Jokic is clearly better than he is at basketball, which I kind of agree with. I think it's almost a fact that Nikola Jokic is better than him in basketball. You don't agree? You think he's better than Nikola
I
Jokic?
disagree completely. I
Oh my
disagree
God.
completely. And I'm not talking about numbers. I'm talking about straight up basketball. And I think what you're looking at is numbers, but you're not looking at basketball, the style of play for Melo and the style of play for Jokic. Jokic is big, right? Jokic don't have to do a lot. He just do this and he's there, right? And he just plays in the center. But you put them one-on-one, Carmelo will kill this man. He will kill this man. It will be
No.
it will be a RIP for this dude. When you talking about just system basketball where this dude stand in the middle and he can pass. The man he can pass the ball, right? That's understated. But yeah, other than that, he can shoot. He's just a big dude. He just sits there and do that. And he is at the basket and he has body and he just put body on people, right? Which is why Dwight can really lock him up because Dwight has that body and that strength where a lot of these NBA players right now in the middle, they ain't got nobody to really body him up like that, right? So that's why, but one-on-one, like he ain't no way, in my opinion, and I'm probably right. Ask anybody. In my opinion, no way, not pure basketball. You're talking about team basketball, but as far as like a basketball player, oh, Melo kill it. Man, come on, Melo killing that man. I expect that from TT, but 3D? Nah, come on, man.
I mean, well, not that I'm not
Hater.
hating on Melo. I'm not hating on Melo, but I mean, he was average to me. He had his good days in the beginning. Don't get me wrong. He had his good days, and then he turned average.
That's the progression of life.
Oh, you talking about old Melo?
Oh, listen, okay. LeBron's old. We don't see average.
LeBron can't be the standard.
From
you cannot compare that. You cannot compare that. That's a freak of nature. Huh? Come on. And I'm a LeBron stan. So you cannot compare that. Nah. Look at Dwayne Wade and all of them. They all out there. You can't compare. Man, this dude. Hey, I remember Carmelo and LeBron playing in high school. Like Melo is that dude.
I mean, I give it to young Melo. I do. I give it to the young, fresh out of, but a few years in, I was like, okay,
3D. Give TT and the rest of these people out here some history on Melo.
Still on Melo, on Carmelo Anthony is he may not have an NBA championship. He may not have it. He actually does have a ring. He has a high school state championship ring because he's the greatest high school basketball player to ever come through Oak Hill. He then went his freshman year at Syracuse, where he was one of the best college basketball players to ever play basketball as a freshman and carried Syracuse to a national championship. Then he gets to the NBA, and as a rookie, a lot of people still to this day, 20 years later, argue that Carmelo Anthony should have won Rookie of the Year over LeBron James, and they are probably right.
I
Then
mean, I'm not gonna go with you on that one. I'm not gonna go with you on that one, but I'm gonna say this, right? It could have went either way.
yeah,
Like it wasn't a clear cut. Like LeBron was doing his thing, but Melo was definitely doing his thing.
I mean, but then you saw the divide, right? You saw great and you saw average, right?
Who's
You
average?
saw the
Who's
greatness
average?
of LeBron. LeBron
Who's average? You call
there was
Melo
great,
average?
and then there was arguably the greatest of all time.
Nah. We're
But Melo was
Okay,
great.
so you're saying Melo is great and LeBron's the greatest of all time. I can get
I'm
with
not gonna call him the
that,
greatest
but
of all
Melo
time, but
is
he's
no
up there.
Melo. No, we're not gonna. Melo was not average. Melo is not average by any stretch
Top
of the
10 all
imagination.
time in scoring.
Yeah, where's Melo? Where's Melo on that list? Because the dude wasn't.
He's a 10, but I mean 10th in the greatest basketball league of all time. He's in the top 10.
How's
And the
that
game is
average?
about putting the ball in the hoop. That's what the game's about.
Okay,
And there's not a lot of guys who
let's
did better than
right.
Melo.
Let's talk about this. Right, Kevin Durant, one of the greatest scorers of all time. Right, like easy sniper. Then I would call him easy money sniper. He just passed Melo. You can't say somebody who's on the top 10 scoring of all time average. You just can't do that. Let's move on because we're gonna fight.
Moving on, I wanted to mention this video that I recently seen that I thought was kind of crazy. So
With
let's check it
Brian,
out.
you and I, when we were thinking about when Riley wanted to trade to bring you to Miami.
Absolutely.
You remember us getting on the phone?
I was sitting in my condo and CJ was sitting. CJ was sitting on the couch, right? If you go back to my brother, always there. CJ was sitting on the couch and we was talking about me coming to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
We was talking about me coming to Miami. We was talking about who gonna have the ball in their hands, how it's gonna work.
We having a conversation.
Yep, we having a conversation, right? And then who was it? Was it CJ? Was it CJ that said something about who gonna wear number 3?
Bro, that's what I wanted to get to. We talk about all this about who gonna have the ball. Okay, we can all play together now. CP, I can play off the ball. We done figured all that out. And then somebody said, well, who gonna wear number 3? Silence.
Listen,
messed the whole trade up.
That's why the trade ain't happened?
Messed the whole trade up because CP could wear number 3 in Miami. Messed the whole.
So, according to Chris Paul and Dwayne Wade, Pat Riley was ready to trade for Chris Paul, and what stopped the trade from happening is they could not agree on who would wear number 3, and that would mess up CP3's brand. Do you guys think that Chris Paul would have a championship if he decided he could just wear the number 30?
I mean, if it was going to be like Chris Paul and Dwayne and D Wade and LeBron
and Chris Bosh,
they were going to have Chris Bosh as well.
Chris Bosh was already there. It was the second season of LeBron being there.
Oh, I thought this was when they were all trying to play together.
No, LeBron. I'm pretty sure LeBron was already there. This was a phone call between LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Pat Riley, but it was after they lost to the Mavericks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they would have won the next 3. They would probably won. How did they say? 4, 5, 6. But yeah, no, they probably definitely would have. Not probably. They would have. I mean, because they won 2 without him and went to 4. So yeah, they definitely. I mean, I think it's an idiot thing to to do. Like, yeah, I'm not going because of a number, but whatever. I mean, the brand is not going to be
zero now, so I guess the brand's messed up.
Not going to be like, yeah. So we ain't gonna follow you with that number 33. Didn't LeBron went to number 6 in Miami?
He did, because Miami has Michael Jordan's number retired for whatever reason.
There you go.
Because they should. I mean, nobody should ever wear the number 23 again, ever.
Yeah,
no, but I agree. I think he'd have a ring as well if he had gone to Miami with that lineup that was already there.
Ironically, I just wanted to mention, so I don't know if you knew this, but Bill Russell wore the number 6, and after Bill Russell passed away, the NBA decided to retire the number 6 across the league. So now I don't know. LeBron couldn't wear number 23 in Miami, and now I guess they're retiring number 6, so you really can't get 6 retired there either because the number 6 is already retired there. So I don't. kind of a weird situation for him. If the league retires number 23 and number 6, LeBron's been number 23 and number 6 his whole career, and he's like we were saying, he's arguably the greatest player in NBA history.
I mean, that's on him though. He knew better.
Yeah. He could have took 25.
Right?
I'm not taking the bait. I am not taking the bait. He could have, but 23 was there for the taking, and that's the number he wanted. So was 6. That's the number he wanted.
Now, a guy who was hoping the judge will take the bait, Rajon Rondo, has requested that the judge be willing to basically give him a what is the word? Drop the charges. Drop the charges for his firearm charges. There's speculation. Now, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but allegedly he pulled a gun on the mother of his children, and he also was found with drugs. And so he is now asking that the judge drop these charges because he believes it was an unlawful arrest.
Did he believe it was an unlawful arrest, or does he? I think it says he believes it's an infringement on his Second Amendment rights.
I saw that about the Second Amendment rights, but I mean, Second Amendment rights said you can have a firearm. It says nothing about pulling it on someone that's not deserving of that.
That's alleged. Right? That's allegedly, right?
Allegedly, of course.
But I think they when they arrested him, they charged him with having a firearm or unlawfully having one. I mean, I don't know if maybe where the state he was in, you needed a license for it or something. So I'm not really sure what's the circumstances around that, but if everything that they are accusing him of as far as like pulling it on someone, then yeah, he does not need to have no gun, especially on the mother of his kids. Like, no. And you definitely, you need to, I don't know, serve some time. I don't know what it is, but yeah, you should be in some way held accountable for it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like you can't be who you are. I mean, nobody should be doing it, but you should definitely be more of an example, of how to exercise your amendment rights, and I don't think that's a a way that you emphasize that, or exercise that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm reading here that let's see. He said it violates his Second Amendment rights, the right to bear arms. Rondo was arrested on Sunday, January 28th in Indiana after being stopped for a traffic violation. The former point guard was picked up for unlawful possession of a firearm, drug paraphernalia, and marijuana.
Yeah, so I don't know where the baby, where his
like
children
he was in his
vehicle. Yeah, like
so
I said, in some
point guard. Wait a minute, let me finish. The state troopers stopped the former NBA point guard after receiving a call from someone who said a black 2022 Tesla was weaving in and out of traffic while driving more than 100 miles per hour on an Interstate 65 South. When the trooper approached the car, which had no license plate, he said it smelled of marijuana. While searching the vehicle, the state trooper found a gun, a personal use amount of marijuana, as well as drug paraphernalia. So, yeah. So that might have been a rumor, and certain states, to have it at your home, you don't have to have a license. Georgia used to be that way. Now you don't have to have a license at all. But you didn't have to have a license to have it at your home, but you did have to have a license to carry it in your car or outside of your home.
Yeah, and and also isn't marijuana legal in a whole bunch of states? So he just got caught up in the wrong state. Because if you smell it on
living in Indiana, because he plays in Indiana, then he should know he should know the You should know the drug laws. Just because it's legal in another state doesn't mean you can do it in your state.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
to
But
me he need to move. He need to
I
move to
agree.
that's
a
where his
place
job's at.
where
Where you just smoke his weed.
marijuana is legal and you can carry guns wherever.
Okay. I
Come
just
to
did a little
Georgia.
research
No,
on it though.
you only. Mhm.
It is not necessarily a rumor. The report came from the mother of his child. Now, that is not the gun charge that he received, but she actually filed for a protective order because she said that he was being abusive and did pull a gun out on her.
Okay, but it's not related to him being stopped.
Not related to the current charge that he is
Okay.
asking to be dismissed.
I mean, I guess it boils down to then what the state law is in Indiana about carrying a weapon in your car. I believe, though, in most, if not all states, your car is a part of your home. So, yeah, even before Georgia changed their laws, you could carry your gun in your car as long as you're in the state of Georgia. Don't go out of the state with a concealed weapon, but it was an extension of your home. Your car was an extension of your home. I'm not sure if Indiana has that same law, but if you're driving 100 miles an hour, which is reckless driving, and you have an illegal drug, I don't know. I mean, but yeah, I mean, it should probably
Yeah,
be thrown out if
okay,
he wasn't
so
doing something illegal with the gun.
exactly.
You know?
So give him a ticket for not having a license plate on the car. Give him a ticket for
Right.
weaving in and out of traffic. Give him a ticket for
Right.
speeding or whatever. But he's right to request that they be dropped.
I agree.
Makes sense.
If that's it's legal to have it in your car, and if marijuana is legal as well. Like you can smell it on me all day. You can see my personal use all day, and
Let's see if it's legal in
Indiana?
Yeah.
He said he was in Indiana?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Why does he work in Indiana?
He might be like an assistant coach or something. I don't know.
I thought he was an assistant coach for the Celtics. That's why I'm confused. Maybe it's an old charge though.
Maybe his kids live there.
Yeah, that's possible. His son is really good at basketball.
So it is not legal in Indiana.
There you go.
It says federal regulations continue to forbid cannabis possession and its transportation across state borders. Nonetheless, 24 states across the country have relaxed their stance and legalized cannabis, including 3 of Indiana's 4 neighboring states, Ohio, Michigan, and Illinois. But yeah.
No, so
Indiana
he just gotta move to one of those other states. He'd be fine. Yeah, but maybe that's why he hasn't asked for that to be dropped. But maybe the guns are having a gun in your possession is legal. Maybe that's why he's asking for that, and they should drop it if that's the case.
I agree.
Well, that's all I have for today. Do you guys have anything else?
I guess I already talked about it, but I'll bring it back up. The Chet and Wemby duel for Rookie of the Year. Even though to me, people that have been drafted to the NBA, even if they don't play that year because they're hurt, I don't think they should be considered for Rookie of the Year. Which this is the second year for Chet. So yeah. I'm happy Wemby is doing his thing. I like Chet as a player, but I am happy that Wemby is kind of running away from it, and you can see the skill level, the difference when they play each other. Though Chet, I'm gonna say again, Chet was doing his thing as well.
Yeah,
I think
Chet's really impressive this year.
Wemby put him on his butt too, so go and check it.
I'll be checking it out. I just got a notice on my feed, and it was 3 hours ago. Lakers signed former first-round pick to 2-way contract. Free agent big man Harry Gills is signed a 2-way contract with the Lakers. Agent Daniel Hazen
Harry Giles.
Harry Giles, yes.
Well, that's good. That's good because honestly, they need someone to help Anthony Davis out. Like every time they play, I'm like, I'm happy that Anthony Davis is, healthy and has been staying on the court. But even if he never gets hurt, like, you gotta have somebody there. Like you can't rely on Christian because what is he? Is he like 6'8", 6'9", maybe? Then you might as well put LeBron might as well put LeBron at the center. You can't rely on Jackson Hayes. He just doesn't have the body. He doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the discipline. So yeah, they need somebody. They need to get a couple of people to throw at that. I don't know this
you're right.
two-way player that they signed, but they need somebody with body. Like how big is this dude? That's what I want to know.
I want to say, I'm about to just look it up. I know Christian Woods. I just looked it up here. Christian Woods is
No,
6'8".
I'm talking about the new player. I already know
Harry
Christian Wood
Giles.
is too small.
That surprises me though. Harry Giles is 6'10". I don't think Harry Giles is that guy though. I've seen him play.
Need you. We go because
They
if they
should have
had
never left
Dwight when they played Denver, man, they would have came away from that because Dwight would at least put some body on him.
Yeah, they could have kept him out of trouble.
I don't know if they could have kept him out of that trouble,
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, I don't care what Dwight is doing off the court as long as you there and you.
I mean, we gotta care a little smidgen.
Well, when I say I don't care what he's doing off the court, I mean if he's not like doing anything illegal or hurting anyone.
Right.
They also had Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba was like 7'5". They traded him.
Yeah, they could have kept Mo Bamba too, but I think Mo Bamba was gonna cost a little bit of money.
Yeah, I mean he ain't doing nothing
They also
now.
let him. They gave up something to get him, and then let him walk for nothing. But I guess it's all good.
Yeah, and these are players that maybe they weren't the greatest. But
yeah, he didn't get to play at all. I was very disappointed, like highly disappointed that they didn't get Kelly Olynyk. I'm like, I'd give up something to get Kelly Olynyk. Like Kelly Olynyk's
a free agent right now, isn't he?
No, he's playing with he got traded from the Jazz to Detroit, I think. Is it Detroit? Some place he got traded to. Yeah, he put up like 24 points the other day, 14 rebounds.
Detroit. Kelly Olynyk is nice. I watched before Kelly Olynyk even started in the NBA. I watched him in summer league, and I was like, "This guy is so good." I didn't know how he went so low in the draft. He was so good in college at Gonzaga. Every team he plays for, he makes an impact. He can shoot the ball. He can rebound.
Exactly. And to this day, he's still impactful. Like they should have got Kelly Olynyk. I don't know why they didn't. Like I don't care if they get anybody else. They just needed a big.
Yeah, I don't know what the obsession with the small ball is not working anymore. It worked for the Warriors because they have the greatest shooter of all time, and then Draymond. He's not really, even though he's I guess short. He don't play small. He's gonna push. It don't matter how tall you are. Draymond will throw you on the ground, and he'll just catch his 6 fouls. He don't mind.
Oh, he uses his fouls. But speaking of that, have you been kind of noticing how the NBA is just getting bigger and bigger? Like you got 7'4" Wemby and how tall is Chet? About the same. They don't even play center position. These dudes is playing. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like from Kevin Durant came around at 7, and they out there. They gonna have their centers, and centers are not like centers in the past. They were trying to get rid of that position. Now these centers, these big dudes, I wouldn't even call them centers anymore. These freak of nature, they're coming out here. They got handles. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Wemby got handles.
Yeah.
Now you got teams.
I mean, it's impressive to see that. The big guys are not being pushed out of the NBA like they're changing their game. They got one big guy in college. I can't remember his name. He doesn't do anything though. Like he's definitely a Shaq type player, back to the basket. I'm not sure how he's gonna do in the NBA. I mean, if you got a pick that you can waste way down the line on him, he might be okay getting. But yeah, because then you can probably teach him to shoot or something. But yeah.
Those big men that can shoot are taking over the NBA right now. You got the
76ers,
one of the best teams. They got Joel Embiid. You got the Nuggets with Jokic. The Boston Celtics and the Bucks, I believe, are the top 2 teams in the East. And they got 7'3" Kristaps Porzingis. He can shoot the ball. And the Bucks, Brook Lopez, 7 feet tall, he can shoot the ball. They got Giannis, who's 6'11". He's not the best shooter, but he ain't scared to shoot the three either.
He probably
So
should. He probably shouldn't shoot him though.
even though he's not a good
Not
3-point
alone.
shooter, he makes teams respect him because once you have to come out to the
Who?
perimeter and guard Giannis, then
Nobody
Giannis can
respecting
dribble the ball
Giannis.
because Giannis
Nobody
don't have a post
respecting
game for
Giannis.
it.
Nobody respecting Giannis. Let me fix that. Nobody respecting him out there. They're like, listen, that's what you want to do. You ain't gonna come down here and eat on us. Like you ain't coming running like this. Nah, That's what they respect. They will leave him out there all day.
Well, they're gonna leave you out there. You might as well shoot it.
I'm telling you, they ain't respecting him. They will allow him to do that. They will be so happy if he do that.
That's what they did to LeBron. And now LeBron is creeping up on that all-time three-pointers list. He already made it in
Oh,
the top 10. They used to just let him shoot that.
speaking of LeBron, did you guys see how the old man take over the game? The man had like what 5 or 7 3-pointers in that game against the Clippers.
Coming back from down 20 points in the fourth quarter.
Man, they stay trying to give LA to Kawhi, and I'm like, well, why y'all keep trying to do this thing? How long Kawhi been in LA now? Remember when he came to LA, he had his like little keychain with the crown on it, trying to say he the
was
king.
Born in LA.
I know he was born in LA. I'm talking about when he came from Toronto. They were trying to give him the key to the city, the crown. He pulled up there in his Impala with his little keychain with the crown on it. I'm like, I know you ain't taking shots. Like, come on, man. You ain't even on Bron level. Don't do that. But yeah, that was crazy. Like, that was a game. Like, that was definitely a quarter to remember for LeBron. Like, you know, people are definitely putting him up there. Not, and when I say putting him up there, there's only one other number that people are debating. So,
I mean, and LeBron's about to hit the 40,000.
Think it'll happen tomorrow.
LeBron will definitely be breaking this record in the next game because LeBron
not breaking the record, setting a record.
You're right.
He's
setting
already
the record
broken.
Because no one has ever scored 40,000 points, but he does already have the all-time points record. Mm-hmm. He also holds the record for the longest streak with over 10 points a game, and it's not close. It's like LeBron and then the next person. I don't know who the next person is, but I'm sure they're like 500 games behind.
And for the all-time points, who's the next under him was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who is no longer in the league, right? As well as under Kareem is someone else who's retired.
Oh, Malone, I think. Malone.
Karl Malone, right? Exactly.
We don't really count.
And same as Kobe. Kobe is number 4, right. I think. Michael is number 5.
Exactly.
And then
we don't even know how many
6?
more years. Yeah, we don't even know how many more years LeBron has.
Number 6 is either Wilt or Shaq.
Exactly. I think the only current player in the league in that top 10 is Kevin Durant.
Yes, and Kevin Durant is also, I just looked it up, Kevin Durant is also the person who has the second longest streak for double-digit games. Kevin Durant is on a streak of 562 games he's had over 10 points. James Harden, he has 523 straight games where he's had over 10 points. And LeBron is in first with 1,191 straight games having double-digit points.
Them dudes gonna have to get a whole nother career to catch him.
Yeah. Wow.
He's literally.
They're gonna have to be like the WNBA players. Go play the second half in Lithuania or something. It's something to say about that. Sustainability, that you can sustain this greatness for so long. That's with him and Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Like Michael Jordan had periods where he sustained that greatness just for so long. Getting rid of the Wizards time. But other than that, yeah. And I think LeBron is doubling that because I think Michael's greatness was good for like 10 years. And then LeBron this is 21 years. So,
Yeah.
I just recently found out, though, Michael Jordan actually did have an impressive little stretch when he played for the Wizards. Obviously, he wasn't near what his greatness was in the Chicago Bulls. But Michael Jordan set the record for highest percentage on fadeaway jump shots when he played with the Washington Wizards as a 40-year-old man. Nobody has ever shot the fadeaway better than 40-year-old Michael Jordan.
I think Michael created the fadeaway, didn't he?
I think
he
so,
made it
right?
popular. Wilt had a little bit of fadeaway in his bag, but not like Michael Jordan. He's just the
Yeah,
way the footwork
I think we
and
got to give that fadeaway to Michael.
yeah, he kind of like how they do with James Harden. Paul Pierce tried to say that the step back was his because he used to shoot the step back, but it's like I mean nobody was talking about a step back when Paul Pierce was playing, so obviously he didn't really establish it. James
Now,
Harden's doing
Tanya,
it.
if you want to talk about a salty player, please
Paul
give
Pierce,
that title to Paul Pierce.
oh yeah, Paul
Give
Pierce
that
is
title to the untruth.
public enemy number one. That is the world's greatest
Listen,
hater.
I like Paul Pierce though, but he definitely he delusional.
He's just got beef with the whole
He's like that
NBA
dude
though.
on Rashad McCant, like just delusional people running around out here.
when you said that name, I was like, who?
Rashad
Exactly.
McCants.
3D knows how I feel about Paul Pierce. So
Oh, yeah.
She likes
I'm
Paul
not Paul
Pierce.
Pierce.
I
No,
hate
we're
Paul
not
Pierce.
Paul Pierce
Okay.
fans.
Okay. I mean,
Paul Pierce got beef with Miami
I
Heat,
don't hate
and it's
him.
a
I just know
one-sided
he's
beef. We ain't
delusional
worried about Paul
sometimes.
Pierce.
Now he's no scrub. I'm not saying he's a scrub or anything, but he's salty. I would say he's very salty.
Yeah.
He's not a scrub. You were saying Carmelo Anthony's average though. Paul Pierce is a little above average. I ain't gonna say
No,
he's
I'm not
average, but
saying
he's a
that's
little
what I'm
above
saying.
average.
I'm not saying he's a scrub. I say I'm not saying he's a scrub. I'm saying he's
Yeah,
salty. He's definitely salty. And he
because
was
he's not
just a
that. He wasn't that guy.
big. He
And he,
definitely was that guy. He
He wasn't
was. I'm
that
not
guy.
taking that away from him.
He had
I'm not Tanya. I'm not gonna
he
take it
got
away.
a ring with the big four. He had 4 All-Stars on his team, which was him, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Ray John Rondo. So it's like, yeah, you got a ring, but it's not because you were that guy. It's because you were that team. It's not because Paul Pierce
Exactly.
was that guy.
Who were they beating up on? They were beating up on rookie LeBron James. And he was taking them. I mean, he was laying it to them, all 4 of them against him in Cleveland. And they ain't ashamed to talk about that, but like, we made LeBron quit. We made him leave. I'm like, bruh, it was 4 of y'all grown to this
He
rookie.
obviously ain't quit if he's still doing it.
But to the rookie, and that's what they hang their hat on, like how they beat LeBron. I was like, that's rookie LeBron with nobody. They had Boobie Gibson. Who else they had? Can you even really name anybody else on that Cleveland team? No.
I think what was more impressive is they were able to take down Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. That was, I guess, the impressive part in 2008. But then he came back. I guess they don't want to talk about that because then they got to talk about how Kobe Bryant came back the next 2 years and then stomped out anybody who got in his way.
Yeah. And Kobe Bryant was by himself then, just getting acclimated with trying to do the thing. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, they got their 1 ring and that was it. But they talk like they've been running the place for so long.
Draymond Green told him about himself. They don't love you like that, Paul Pierce.
But yeah, they always want to talk about how LeBron started the big 3 and teaming up. And I'm like, you guys were the very ones that did it.
They don't like to talk about that.
Nah.
That's to me, that's the original super team. When they went and got Kevin Garnett,
I wouldn't even say they were
Ray
the original
Allen.
super team. If you look at those teams past, those teams like the Lakers and the Celtics that were winning, 15 and 14 championship rings, those were the stacked teams. Look at those teams. You had Magic, Worthy, Kareem. I mean, all of these people on one team.
I think
You had
they call it a
Bird
super
and
team.
all of these other people on one team.
They're
So
building through
nobody
the
was
draft.
beating them. They had to die, or I wouldn't say die off, but they had to quit they had to retire from the NBA for people to start beating them. That's how they got all them rings with those super teams. But people try to act like, I think the problem is that the owners could stack the team, but when the players started to get, like, hey, I'm gonna go play over here, that's when they start having a problem. Because ain't no way those 2 teams would have won all those rings and nobody else win nothing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. It's odd how they did it too. Like the
Lakers
got the first pick to get Magic Johnson. They got the first pick to get James Worthy. And it's like before they got Magic Johnson, they had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, MVP. Before they got James Worthy, they just won a championship. And now they got the first pick in the draft. And it's like I don't really know how they did it. I watched Game Time. I still don't understand it. It's almost like because they're trading for these picks, and it's almost just like this looks fishy.
Yeah.
And because it was fishy. That's why.
It was
Come on
more
now,
than
you know.
fishy. It was fishy. It was crabby. It was whatever you can throw in there. It was
Oh, the
all of
Lakers
that.
was doing something they shouldn't have been doing. You know it.
Yeah. So yeah, they just people they talk about history when history favor them in a good light, but they try to get rid of the ones that don't favor them. Like we don't have the ability to go and look.
Right. Well, that's all I have for tonight. Y'all got anything else?
I'm fresh out.
Okay.
That's it for me. Of course, it is now March, and March Madness is coming. We are going to be doing a bracket, so stay tuned for that. I believe they released the lists. Selection Sunday is March 17th, so that's around the time that we will release the bracket. So do join us for the brackets. We will have a prize for the person that wins the bracket for March Madness. We're going to do both the men's and the women's, so we'll have 2 prizes for whoever wins the March Madness. I think it's going to be a lot of fun this year too. I really do. I'm looking forward to March Madness. I especially the women's. All right, and
I get into it.
Yeah. That is it for us, being that it's March and summer is coming. Make sure you are hydrating, drink your water. And we are signing off. Have a good one.
Good night.
Good night.
Mm-hmm.